am here live at Fully Charged Live USA in Austin at COTA. And I'm here with Brian Gase from Rivian. So we're very excited to hear what Rivian is up to. Brian does special projects, which means he gets to do really cool stuff, like driving from Argentina to LA.
Yep, so we ship vehicles in end of August for durability testing. So we went down southern tip of South America and then drove about 105 days up to LA, all conditions, all weather. We're doing tremendous amounts of durability testing on our vehicles, normal proving ground types of work. But we're an adventure company first, so we went out and said, let's do something that's a little bit more extreme. Let's build out the charge infrastructure so people can go and have this journey now that we've put that grid in place. It was, for me, really amazing lifetime experience, but also seeing our vehicles on the road for the first time, driving along, really cool.
It's really cool. So you set up an infrastructure for charging stations along the way?
Absolutely. So we built basically 2 level 2 chargers every, give or take, 100 miles throughout the route. And the reason was, well, our vehicles, the ones that we took, had a 300-mile range with it. You might not want to stop every end of day and full charge. So we put it in place so that we could stay where we wanted to, go off the path, go off-roading, do some cool things. See some really cool places.
Okay, which model did you take on this trip?
We took 2 of the R1Ts.
Okay. And you went off-roading. So off-roading in an EV, what's it like compared to
So the cool side of it is, obviously with 4 motors, you've got all-time all-wheel drive, independent power per wheel, give or take even horsepower on the vehicle, so a lot of capability. The cool side of an EV is going downhill. Because on the downhill side, I no longer have to downshift the engine brake. I've got a regenerative system that'll hold the vehicle position on a hill descent. And one of the coolest days, we were up at this mountain, we took a bunch of cool photos, then we went down and I was 6% more efficiency at the bottom than the top. Really cool.
That must have been a lot of fun.
That was one of my favorite days of the trip. We didn't have anything planned for that day, so a couple of us went out, climbed up a mountain on a trail, and had a really good time.
So now you're offering a 3-row SUV.
Correct. So the R1S is about a 12-inch shorter wheelbase than the truck. It'll be built, otherwise it's the same chassis. It's common forward of the feet pillar, so just behind the front door. And that helps us to develop it more quickly, keep investment low, and put out a vehicle that'll be on the same line as almost a sister product to the truck. Come out about 3 months out.
When is it going to be available?
So the truck will be end of this year, and the SUV for Q1 of next year.
And have you announced pricing?
We've announced that it'll come pretty well equipped, so not fully loaded, but at $72,500 before federal tax credit. And you can go up from there with additional functions and features, or you can go down from there, taking some time to know.
Now I'm excited because the 3-row SUV market is high.
It is.
Kia's Telluride, Hyundai's Palisade. Rivian is going to be competitive.
Absolutely.
It might be a little bit more expensive than those two, but it's an EV. So what would make somebody choose this? What kind of features do you have, especially as safety, that makes it comparable to the
It's a great question. So I'm a family guy. I guess first I have a wife and then 3 boys. I've got a 10-year-old and a 28-year-old. I actually joined Rivian in 2010, just before my twins were born. And that fairly quickly changed my world entirely. But safety, absolutely, both our vehicles matter. So 5-star safety pick. All of the functional airbags, restraints, the vehicle designed to be safe from the beginning. Our platform and our architecture is set up that way. It's the most important thing you have at the end of the day is making sure if something bad does happen that you're as protected as you possibly can be. From a vehicle perspective, safety is important. Some of the other stuff that we feel we differentiate on, outside of just the EV, the space, storage space being extremely important for us. Also being an adventure vehicle, so you can go have, even if it's a family adventure, take your kids, get to the beach, go out on the trail, get up to your base camp to do your hiking, whatever it is. There's a lot of off-road capability in the vehicle. The 410 or so mile range on the SUV gives you a lot of capability there as well. And it's a comfortable seating package. So that 3rd row, you're going to feel okay as a child, as an adult in the back seat.
I know there are some automakers who are doing a really good job offering safety features standard. Is that the same with Rivian, included from the base model?
Yep. So we have some of our autonomous systems are with the higher level trim packages, but from advanced collision detection, all of that stuff is based on it. It's absolutely critical to us to make sure that's in the vehicle. So there's different functions outside of that, but basically our safety package, I believe, is standard across the board with all of it. I know all of our airbags are.
And Brian, you've been with Rivian for 8 years.
9.5. 10, 20, 20, 10.
What was it like when you first started? Like, what were you thinking? New company?
It was a very interesting place. We were a really small team. Everybody was quick to align, but we all had shared values and a shared vision of doing something better. From our CEO down, we've never wanted to build a car company or a vehicle to put another car on the road. The goal isn't to make another SUV so that we can have a 3-row SUV. The goal is to put a product out there that's compelling, exciting, different, and also can start taking CO2 out of the atmosphere. Again, back to the family side, let's make the world better for our kids and our children's children. And we feel that electrifying the vehicle space and doing it in a way where you're not making trade-offs and going to a smaller footprint vehicle. You can still have your stuff, you still have your adventure, and then being able to use those batteries sustainably in second life to electrify the grid that provides power to the vehicle in the first place is really exciting for us. But in the early days, we've shifted direction a few times in the vehicle, but the thing that won me over, the reason I joined Rivian and the reason I'm extremely excited to talk to people now is their product's great, but the people from the beginning have always said, we're going to do this, we're going to build this because it doesn't exist. We're going to do something, and when you're like, yeah, but what about all these issues? They're just challenges. We'll solve the problems, we'll bring in the funding, we'll get the right team, we'll get the right product, and when you're around people who are just internally optimistic, it's so refreshing. It makes you motivated to do what you're doing. Spend time with our CEO, RJ. You walk in, you're like, RJ, I'm going to tell him this isn't going to work. I'm going to go in, and you walk in, and you leave, and you're like, why am I excited to do this thing? And you're just like, I got RJ again.
You got RJ,
but it's
like a bird.
Exactly. The fun side of it, though, is as you build people that share those values and share that sense of just, no, we're going to do this because we're determined, because we're passionate, because we're big picture thinkers, really, really cool to be part of it. It's so much more exciting to work with positive people in general.
I agree. That sounds like a really cool company. How does it compare to competitors?
Well, from a current market today, there are a few EVs out in the space, but from a SUV perspective, finding a vehicle with a 3-second 0 to 60, 8,000-pound towing capacity, goes through 3 feet of water, 400 miles of range, and is built in America doesn't really exist out there. Competitors are a really interesting thing, though, because you can look at us from especially the truck side. Are you competitive with trucks? Are you competitive with EVs? We've got performance specs of sports cars, and it's this real cool dichotomy of this and that. You can bring all these features in, and you can pull somebody out of a sports car into this truck because it fits more of their stuff, or you can pull somebody out of an existing truck into an electric vehicle because for the 1 week in a month they want to carry a sheet of plywood. It's fantastic, it fits in the bed, but you're not trading off all those other daily usage to get a vehicle that's less efficient. So we're really proud of that combination, and we laid that out by developing our architecture from scratch.
So I think that's where families are really going to see the difference. They buy vehicles for what they might do, right? Maybe not what they do every day.
I think everyone does all that.
Right?
Yeah.
They might tow a boat, they might tow a camper, they might need it to tow plywood or put furniture in it. But they can also not have a gas-guzzling vehicle.
That's the side for me that's really cool when you say, and from us, we're an adventure brand. We want people to go out and see the world and do things. We won't do that all the time. Like for me, my adventure is no longer going out and snowboarding with friends. It's taking my kids to a park and hanging out. But like, I've got 3 kids in Cub Scouts, and I can't wait. I pre-ordered the truck. I did it as soon as I could, and I can't wait to have the kitchen. And I go to the Cub Scout camp out, and I pull out the kitchen, and I cook off of my battery, and I just... That to me is going to be such a cool experience for my kids to see, and for people to see that like you can use this electric footprint and do some really, really amazing stuff. And you can do it in a way that, as you said, it's you no longer have this gas guzzler, you no longer have emissions. It'd be really interesting if the world was electric vehicles first and somebody today was trying to come out with a gas vehicle, because people ask infrastructure questions. There's electricity all around. It's just a matter of tapping into it with a level 2 or level 3 charger. But For me, it's a really cool part of the story to be part of.
I can't wait to hear more.
Fantastic.
Excited about it too.
Oh, good.